Salute, salute, salute. What's happening, man? It's Nocturnal Thoughts. Look, first of all, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Second of all, you know what I'm saying, feel free, do a little thumbs up. Third of all, leave me a comment so I can respond back and we can talk about some boxing. So, you know, I want to talk about Mr. Gary Russell Jr. real quick. We all know that he got into a little altercation with the rapper MEELS. You know what I'm saying? A dude from Philadelphia, the one who was with Nicki Minaj for a little period of time, got into it with Drake and whatever, you know what I'm saying? But Gary Russell Jr., infamous shit talker, you know what I'm saying? Nefarious, narcissistic, short man with the alpha male mentality, you know what I'm saying? Got the short man complex with the huge ego, you know what I'm saying? Can back up most of the shit he talking, and comes from that Gary Russell family where, you know, his dad was the patriarch, had all the sons and named them all Gary Russell, and then gave them their own like middle name that they kind of use as a first name or whatever, something like that. But they all Gary Russell, this Gary Russell, Antoine, Gary Russell. I don't even know all their names, to be honest with you. But I gotta say this, man. I feel like that Mr. Gary Russell Jr. Really, I think sometimes I feel like he lacks a little decorum and a little bit of tact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like sometimes, man, he talks a little bit too much shit that crosses certain lines. Now, it's boxing. First of all, some of the shit he just talking is just boxing talk, and you gotta have some callous. You gotta have some kind of, you know what I'm saying, gilded. Like, can't be soft and then be into boxing like that. But at the same time, I feel like when you a habitual line stepper and all you can do is talk shit, and then I don't see you fighting in the ring, you know, then I feel like, come on, man, like, you a boxer and we want to see you box. We don't want to see you just, you know, going to different events and then getting into like verbal altercations. Like, I would hate to see Gary Russell Jr. turn into Shannon the Cannon Briggs. And that's not to say that in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying that persona, like, you know, I don't want your reputation and your image just to be, oh, that's the dude that just go to different places and talks a lot of shit and makes a lot of noise. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember Gary Russell Jr. losing to Vasily Lomachenko, which was part of the reason why you had to give credit to the people that was advocating for Lomachenko as the next best dude. Like, when they were saying he was better than Floyd and better than Muhammad Ali and better and similar to Willie Pep and similar to, you know what I'm saying, Sweet Peace, Whitaker, and saying he was the next Roy Jones and he was as good as, you know what I'm saying, Roy Jones Jr. It was like you had to give it a little bit of credit because he was able to beat Gary Russell Jr. And he did it in a pretty impressive fashion. And then Gary Russell wouldn't never let it go because he was just talking too much shit, and he still was kind of using that weight drain or issue with his scale not being synchronized with the official scale as part of the reason why he felt like he came up short. You know what I'm saying? And that was in the past, so it was no big deal. You let it go. Then when I think of Gary Russell Jr., I think of him having that issue when he went up to fight Leo Santa Cruz, and he went up on Leo Santa Cruz's father and was talking real slick and talking real greasy, putting his arm around him and playing with his necklaces, talking about, see how easy it is for me to touch your pops. Now, that situation, I thought it lacked decorum. But at the same time, I see what he was trying to do was just, you know, he was trying to get a buzz going to where he was trying to do what he was trying to do to get Leo Santa Cruz into the ring with him. And he said that he was new to social media, new to the cameras and posting videos, so it didn't come out and look the way he really wanted it to look. So that you let it go too, because I can totally understand that. You're kind of an old school dude, new technology, you know what I'm saying? It's just like the moment when you thinking of how it's gonna play out and it didn't play out that way. You didn't know that that man's father was sick. So, you know, what you meant to just look like I'm just calling out a fighter, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to instigate a fight, made it look like, you know what I'm saying, you was like going up to somebody that was sick and being disrespectful to somebody's father. But you let that be a pass. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the circumstances. But then what kind of another little issue I had with Gary Russell was when he was talking very disrespectful to Jaleel Hatchett. And I think it was predicated on the fact that Bernard Hatchett said the route that Gary Russell should be going is trying to fight against Burchell. And this was, I think, right around the time when Gary Russell was talking about how he punched Terrence Bud Crawford in the face. And he wanted to fight Terrence Bud Crawford. And that whole thing got intercepted by Devin Haney. And Devin Haney was like, I'll fight you. And then you had Batman, rest in peace. I believe he passed away recently. You had Batman for Gary Russell Jr. trying to, you know, promote a fight with Bill Haney for Gary Russell and Devin Haney to fight. And in the midst of that happening, Jaleel Hatchett got drugged into the conversation, and he was talking about how he got beat by your brother in sparring, and it just didn't look good and it didn't sound good. And I think later on you had to come back and kind of apologize, and you said it was because, you know, it was just war, it was battle, he was a casualty of war, and he got caught in the crosshairs. And you apologized because you felt like the young man didn't deserve that type of a criticism. So we let that all slide. I let it slide personally, but I just didn't like the way it looked. It just looked like it lacked in style. Like you didn't have no style. Like this dude character, you talk too much shit to where your character seemed a little flawed. And you got a lot of fucking charisma, a lot of style, can talk a whole lot of shit, but it gets to a point where it gets bigger than that, and it just is overinflated. And now it's like, you know what I'm saying, you just talking shit, and I want to think when the last time I seen you just look really impressive inside the boxing ring. And the last fight I remember was you against Mark Mexeyow, and you looked good, but you came up short. Obviously you had an injury. You was fighting one hand. You did a good job, but you didn't get that victory. Okay, cool. You're not 100%. I just don't think I'm gonna ever see you 100% again in the ring fighting some young dude like Gervonta Tank Davis or Chris Colbert. You know, I slap you, shawty. Like, it ain't good, it ain't 100%, but it's still good enough to slap a sucker in the face. And Chris Colbert kind of froze up, but hey, I don't know what would happen in the ring. Let's see you fight in the ring with Chris Colbert. Let's see you fight in the ring against Gervonta Tank Davis. I seen him outside of the fight with Hector Garcia talking about how slow Tank was, how flat-footed he was. To me, I chalk that up as a lot of boxing talk, but at the end of the day, when you turn around and get into a little altercation with MEELS, it starts to look so unprofessional. And it's like, you know, I don't think there's no way for him to tarnish his family's name. I think they too solid. They done been through a lot of shit. His brothers is solid. Their dad was solid. Their dad done passed away. I think a couple of their brothers done passed away, and their family has really still shown a whole lot of integrity. So they're solid. So I would never say that he couldn't do anything to just embarrass their family name. It's just, I don't think that could happen. But I still feel like, dude, for a little dude that got all this big shit to say, I gotta see you back it up. You know what I'm saying? I got to see you back it up again in the ring, because most of this shit is boxing. I don't want to see you in no street fights. I don't want to see you in no street situations with no rappers. That ain't a good look. Once again, that's not a good look. To me, that shows a lack of professionalism and tact, and it's just, this is a gentleman sport, and your family is thorough and they solid, and there's just no reason for y'all to be getting into no bullshit, no street shit. You know what I'm saying? And damn, if you, I would rather just see you fight Gervonta Tank Davis in the ring. I would rather, maybe that's what it's all about. Because, you know, everybody going crazy, this little hoopla about Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis being a huge fight, because Ryan Garcia is, you know, like the golden boy, Oscar De La Hoya. He get all the females come want to see the fight. And Gervonta Tank Davis is the up and rising pay-per-view star. He got all that it factor tattoos, and he got the Mike Tyson power knocking people out. So that'd be a huge fight. Of course, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Devin Haney would be a big fight, because Devin Haney got all the belts. He's, you know, undisputed. And Gervonta Tank Davis is, you know what I'm saying, the pay-per-view star and knocking people out once again. And of course, Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Tank Davis would be a decent fight. You know, they in the same, like they all in that same age bracket. You know, the whole 4 kings, kind of the 5 kings, the 6 kings: Lomachenko, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Gervonta Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. Oh, you know, but maybe Gary Russell Jr. feel like he's getting left out the mix. Well, that might be the case. Get back in the mix and fight Gervonta Tank Davis. I had to salute that. But this shit between you getting into these little fights with rappers and talking shit about how poor another boxer's performance is, I can't salute that. That's just my opinion. But y'all let me know y'all opinions in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel. Salute, salute, salute. Boxing Nocturnal Thoughts. I'm gone. Wow.